What's up, YouTube? I'm here with another deck profile. I managed to get second place at Murillo's Saturday night tournament using the Six Samurai deck that I had showed off earlier. I did tweak it a little bit to change the ratios and put some new cards into it, so I'd like to show that off for those who are curious about how the deck would function now. I played against one True Draco, which was the one True Draco that I lost to, which was my only loss. One True Draco that I beat, one ABC player that I beat, and another ABC Invoke player that I managed to take out. So I went 3-1 in the tournament, and I managed to get second with it. So let's get into the deck. Played 2 Fuma. I always played this at 2. I never saw a reason to play it at 3. You don't really want to draw it. It doesn't have diagrams, so there's no way to really destroy it. I did manage to summon 2 of them at one point and attack and crash into other monsters to get his effect. I actually forgot about it until like the 3rd round. Kagemusha, 2 Kaigeki, 1 Elder, 1 Shinai, and 1 Mizuho. It's still a pretty good 2-card combo. Mizuho was able to take out Spell Fragrances and other floodgates that were kind of in my way, and Shinai putting himself in the grave was able to get me back a Grandmaster. 1 Hatsume, the best one in the deck. 3 Kizan, your main special summon. 1 Kizaru. I was summoning him off a lot more off Invoker, realizing that was a really big play. If you open with 2 level 3s, you can go into Invoker and then get Ice Sold, and if you have the continuous spells up on board, you get a lot of counters onto them just from 2 monsters. 2 Grandmaster. This is probably going to go down to 1, and I'm probably going to play Upstart. I believe that I took it out of this build, but I think I'm going to throw it back in. There was the point I had to playing 2 was that I wanted to have 1 as a banished target for the Hatsume, but it just really wasn't like as good, especially when you draw like 2 in the opening hand. 1 Shogun, this won me a couple games. A lot of people were seeing this and then they are activating Terraforming, thinking I was going to negate with Trigate, and I didn't, and I just let it go through, and they weren't allowed to have spells or traps for the rest of the turn. Exodius, I was going to cut him, but I actually really like him. He's just a free body, and if you do him at the beginning of your turn, when you only have like 1 or 2 engraved, you get a free summon, and then it can go into your Sarisia. So it's kind of like just a free extra name. 3 Smoke Signal and 1 Rhoda. Still, this card is not Rhoda. It does a lot more knowing that I can get like Kaigeki and Kagemusha. I was really underrating Kagemusha earlier, but it really helps to make the Nat Beast. 3 United, 2 Dojo, and 1 Gateway. I saw this card like all day today. I saw it in my opening hand in the True Draco game and in my ABC game, and I made a nutty board. It was not fair. 2 Asceticism, perfect at 2. Don't need to go to 3. 1 Broken, 2 Cursed. I took out 1 of the Cursed for one of the 2 cards that I decided to throw in, but it's been perfectly fine at 2. 3 Golden, obviously, and 1 Foolish Burial Goods to get you to your gold. Reborn and Soul Charge. I drew this all the time. I was winning games for free with it. I was making 2 starters just to get into it. And the 2 cards I added was Judgment and Warning. My theory was like, if I made an unbreakable board and they like normal and mono, or if they have like that 1 card that I can't stop that will hurt me, then I can use 1 of these to stop it. And I'm always going to get into it, being that I draw so much, so it really isn't like that hard to get into these cards. For the extra deck, I was playing 2 Xian. I bumped him back up to 2 because he's super easy to make. And I cut the Nat Beast, but I put him back in 2. These cards are just like the best end boards when you make your whole extra link and you have like 6 monsters on board, and at the last minute they see this, they can't break your board. MX Saber, because it's MX Saber. Link Karibo. I like this card because it's another name for when you have like too many Fumas in play, and if you end like a kind of Buji board, you get a Fuma, you can bring this card back from the graveyard to protect your Xian and stuff. The 1 Proxy, 1 Binary. These are just kind of like extra steps in between getting to Borload and other cards. But this one's role is more important to be on the board since it has the whole protection from attacks, the increase and decrease in attacks, and sometimes I'll end this to protect my Xian when it's pointing at like Firewall, because Firewall will be dead. One Goblin, this card is just so nuts in this deck. Getting an additional normal summon, especially with Kaigeki. When you have like Gateway and you make this, you can normal anybody. This can get you 2 specials from the hand when you summon Kaigeki off of it. One Isold, obviously it's the starter card. This is the first card you make before you make anybody else, and sending is a cost for her, so you're always gonna get like your golden Bamboozler plays off. Trigate, the homie, the absolute unit of the deck. This card stopped everybody in its tracks. This card's crazy. This card's been crazy since it came out. One Unicorn, I made it one time to shuffle a back row back that was kind of in my way, but other than that, it really kind of has no use. I might just put Staryuja back to 2 in place of it. One Staryuja, I should have played 2, but I was making him all day. He was the second card I made after I sold. Firewall, necessary in the deck. When you are spamming keys-ons and getting all that, and then at the very end, when you go to make the Shogun and Xian, you can special summon the Fuma off of him and then summon keys-on, and then Synchro, and then you can special the Shogun. This card is super necessary in all combo decks at this point. One Griffin, this was just there to be a skill drain and a card in the way. Absolute unit, but I never made it at all. And then Borload, this card was a truck. This card took out all the True Draco players that I played against. This card's bigger than Masterpiece, it's better than Masterpiece, and it just climbs over other monsters. So yeah, that's about it. Pretty fun deck, still really good, solid hands, doesn't really brick too much, doesn't really like to brick, likes to give me the gateway a lot. I try not to stack it, but yeah, that's about it. Thanks guys.